Being the first spacecraft to travel beyond of our solar system, the Voyager 1 is well known. 40 years after its launch, NASA reports that the Voyager 1 probe, the most far-flung man-made object in the universe, is once again delivering useful data back to Earth. Scientists are uneasy about something that Voyager 1 sent back. Imagine a spacecraft that was constructed decades ago and has survived the lonesome darkness of space, well beyond anyone's expectations. After spending so much time adrift in the unknown, it finally returned with a message that nobody had anticipated. Is this signal coming from an unknown region of space? Let's explore deep space and find the secrets that will permanently alter the course of history. The leap into history of Voyager is unknown. Sending these twin spacecraft, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, to investigate the planets at the boundary of our solar system was NASA's simple plan back in the day. They could accelerate beyond Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune by using a unique arrangement of planets to augment their gravity from one planet to the next, much to a cosmic pinball machine. In September 1977, one of the probes set out, outpacing its twin, and by 1979, it had already captured some stunning images of Jupiter and its moons. In 1980, it moved on to Saturn. Our understanding of these gas giants and their peculiar moons was completely altered by the images and information it returned. One thing is clear before we get into this: Voyager 1 sent back a message that is far stranger than anyone could have predicted, and this isn't the only shock it will give us. However, after all those flybys of planets, the situation became much more intriguing. The probe completed its initial mission by 1990 and continued to cruise out of the solar system. It entered what is known as the heliosphere, which is essentially a massive bubble of space that is governed by the Sun. The heliopause is the boundary of this bubble where interstellar space ultimately emerges from the magnetic field and solar wind of our Sun. It was the first artificial object to cross that boundary and enter interstellar space in August 2012. It seemed as though humanity had finally emerged from our small galaxy and had first-hand knowledge of the wider cosmos. Naturally, considering all of this distance, the probe is about 14 billion miles from Earth. It's difficult to stay in touch these days. It takes more than 21 hours for radio signals to reach us, and the spacecraft's power source weakens and it moves farther away every day. Nevertheless, until lately, when things took an odd turn, it continued to return valuable data, primarily about particle concentrations and cosmic rays. Scientists received a signal from the probe in 2022 that was different from the typical data it returned. This one was warped and erratic, and it made everyone at NASA a little uneasy. The small spacecraft appeared to be emitting a distress signal from the depths of space. At first, everyone assumed that since it was more than 40 years old, it would inevitably have some issues. The spaceship was never intended to last this long, after all. It is currently powered by fumes from the radioactive power source that has kept it operating, which is essentially a nuclear battery. However, when investigating the issue, the experts discovered that this was not merely a chance technological glitch. The Attitude Articulation and Control System, or AACS for short, was the source of the signal. This portion of the probe ensures that the spacecraft is oriented correctly, particularly with regard to its antenna toward Earth. We won't hear from that antenna ever again if it's not oriented correctly. The remainder of the spacecraft was acting as if nothing was wrong, but the AACS was sending back jumbled gibberish. This felt a little unsettling in addition to being perplexing. It's similar to receiving a letter from someone stating that they're lost, but everything else is fine. One of the many theories that scientists thought about was that, after all these years, the AACS had finally begun to degrade, perhaps as a result of cosmic radiation. For more over 10 years, the probe has been collecting cosmic rays in interstellar space. Electronics can be affected by this radiation in a variety of unanticipated ways. Some scientists even questioned whether it had strayed into a strange, unexplored area of space, where the climate is so peculiar that it's literally causing the spacecraft's electronics to malfunction. It appeared as though there was even more waiting in the quiet, deep regions of space as Voyager continued its journey. It's actually quite possible that the probe is floating into a zone that is unlike anything we've seen, which is a warning from deep space. We're just learning about the cosmic rays, dust, and magnetic fields that fill interstellar space. It's not simply empty nothingness. Imagine the spaceship drifting into an area with an extremely strong magnetic field or being suddenly hit by particles that are denser than before. It's not as though a survival guide for every circumstance in the universe was included in its construction. It's merely a small metal box with a nuclear battery and a few sensors attempting to navigate an unfathomably hostile environment. Our knowledge of interstellar space may be severely insufficient if the probe is really coming across something novel out there. There's just no way of knowing what to expect because this is the first thing we've launched that far out. Perhaps the void of darkness is not the only thing that exists. Cosmic rays, energy fields, or perhaps something more exotic could be present. Whatever it is, researchers are attempting to determine whether this strange signal is a passing phenomenon or whether the probe will continue to return similar disconcerting signals as it continues its journey into the unknown. The problem is that it's getting increasingly difficult to stay in contact with the probe. It returns a weak signal that is only becoming weaker. The faint whispers it sends our way are picked up by NASA using these enormous, extremely sensitive radio dishes. Its distance increases with each passing year, while the energy required to transmit a signal decreases. In order to conserve power, NASA has already had to turn off the majority of the non-essential systems on board. They predict that the spacecraft's power supply would be so low by the middle of the 2020s that even the primary instruments will have to shut off. However, it is still active at the moment, and this unsettling signal, whatever it is a part of its continuing narrative. People couldn't help but wonder if the probe had discovered something amazing, or perhaps something terrifying, when word of the odd message spread. Was this a cosmic SOS of some sort? Is it possible that something beyond our current comprehension is influencing the signal? Perhaps it has spotted something that no one could have foreseen in the shadows. Even if the logical explanation is that this is simply a fault in a system that has been in place for decades and should never have lasted this long, the speculation has continued. The probe's journey has always had a romantic feel to it. Built by mankind, this little machine is alone as it ventures into the vast unknown. It resembles a message in a bottle that is floating farther from its home planet while carrying a golden record that is filled with earthly sounds, music, and greetings, a time capsule intended for whoever or whatever would discover it. It currently transmits a signal that no one can fully understand as it travels into intergalactic space. Isn't that almost poetic? The fact that its journey is coming to an end, not with a definitive conclusion, but rather with an odd, possibly desperate cry from the shadows. It serves as a reminder that despite all of our accomplishments and scientific advancements, there is still a great deal about the universe that we do not fully comprehend. Perhaps the probe is reminding us of how far away home is, or perhaps it is revealing that space isn't as empty as we initially believed. Voyager 1, a small, delicate thing lost in a limitless ocean, represents our aspirations, our desire to discover, and our yearning to know what is beyond. It continues to push the envelope even now, while its systems gradually deteriorate. The odd message it returns serves as a reminder of how much is still unknown. It's simple to forget that this tiny spacecraft, which was launched during the disco era, is now farther away from Earth than any other object humans have ever created. It has carried us beyond the boundaries of our solar system and seen things that the human eye will never see. The spacecraft will eventually become totally silent. It will stop sending signals home when its power runs out. However, it will continue to float, a lone relic of human curiosity that will always bear that golden record. Perhaps it will be discovered by someone or something at some point, or perhaps it will continue to drift invisible in the icy depths of space, a silent reminder that we had the audacity to venture forth even though we had no idea what we were getting into. Voyager 1's signal seemed more than a glitch. It appeared to have encountered forces that we still don't fully comprehend. The reality is that, despite our desire to believe we understand everything, it is becoming clear that we do not. We're still attempting to decipher the messages it continues to send us. There was something strange and unexpected about that most recent message. Furthermore, even if we are compelled to formulate theories, some plausible, some more akin to a science fiction film's plot, interstellar space is still mostly unknown to us. While we are here on Earth, straining to hear what the lone probe is attempting to tell us. That's one of the things that makes this so unsettling. It's not as though the solutions are simply waiting for us to find them. Rather, there is a whole, enormous cosmos that is full of. The strange transmission is only one of many questions. We still lack the resources necessary to completely comprehend what is out there, if we are being honest with ourselves. But we're trying. Before the line goes dead, we are trying everything we can to decipher the mysterious communications coming from the depths of space from this small, antiquated spacecraft that was launched from a world without smartphones. See it, floating farther and farther into the unknown, away from the sun that gave it life, away from everything familiar, and into a darkness that it was never meant to survive. It's trying to tell us what's going on by spotting something we can't see, out there in the icy emptiness. It serves as a reminder of our limitations as well as a symbol of human perseverance and the spirit of exploration. We created it, we sent it, and now it's heading in a direction we can't now follow. 14 billion miles away from home, more than 40 years of journey, and still going. Whatever the AACS malfunction is, it serves as a clear warning that our technology is far from flawless. Even if this turns out to be merely a technical issue, the situation nevertheless catches our attention. What if something exists that simply doesn't fit the knowledge of Voyager's outdated systems? What if we underestimated how odd space is? The signal is more than simply data, it is a depiction of the difficulties that come with venturing into the unknown. A reminder that we are not always the ones with all the solutions. Ultimately, Voyager 1's appeal extends beyond its science and technology. It's the unknown. The spacecraft is at an area where no man-made object has ever been, beyond the planets and the sphere of influence of our Sun. It carries a record of our identity and origins, leading it on a one-way journey into the vast beyond. And now it's returning messages that we can't fully comprehend despite our sophisticated technologies. That reminds us that, despite everything we know, we are still explorers in the purest sense of the word. Voyager 1's story is more than simply data, images of Saturn's rings, or cosmic rays. It's about human curiosity, the want to ask questions even when we may not be prepared for the answers, and the desire to explore what lies beyond the next hill. That interest led to the launch of Voyager, a spacecraft designed to discover more about the cosmos and possibly ourselves. Even the greatest telescopes cannot see it now, and it sends back whispers from the abyss's edge, leaving us to speculate about what else might be out there. Voyager 1's mission isn't finished, even as the moment when it will permanently go silent draws near. We will continue to learn for years to come from the information it sends and the discoveries it makes. And that odd signal serves as a reminder that our journey is far from over, regardless of whether it's an indication of anything new or merely a technical glitch. There are still more things out there, more limits to explore, and more clues that we might eventually get, from something else, perhaps from Voyager. The important thing is that we are still searching, listening, and attempting to comprehend. Even though Voyager's journey is coming to a conclusion, what it has discovered so far has us curious and eager to absorb more knowledge from a courageous machine. Voyager 1 laid the groundwork for the future. It showed us that we can send our technology to locations we've only ever imagined and that we can reach out beyond our solar system. The route Voyager blazed will be followed by the next generation of explorers, whether they are robots, probes, or even crewed missions. Beyond our sun, beyond our galaxy, and into whatever is beyond, we will continue to push outward. And perhaps in the future, we will receive the answers that Voyager 1 attempted to convey to us through that peculiarly twisted signal. Imagine the Voyager spacecraft as a tiny dot in the vastness of the cosmos, billions of kilometers away. Even though its systems are failing one by one and it is losing power, it is still operating and attempting to stay in contact. It's like a lighthouse in the dark, and even if it goes out, people will remember it. We will remember what it has done, where it has been, and what it has taught us about our own cosmos. It's following a course that mirrors our own. Everybody is trying to figure out where they fit in and what the world is like. And perhaps, just possibly, to leave something significant behind. Whether the signal from Voyager 1 was a malfunction or a real message, it serves as a reminder that there is still a lot we don't know. This demonstrates that the universe continues to amaze us even when we believe we understand everything. It serves as a reminder of how small we are and how little we know about the grandeur of the world. The thought that there is always another question lurking just out of sight for every answer we find is arguably the most fascinating part. Long after it has ceased to communicate with us, Voyager 1 will still be there, drifting through the stars. It will continue to stand on its silent watch, a tiny metal symbol of Earth, a relic from the moment when people first courageously stepped outside the security of their solar system. And there's a certain beauty in its silence. A reminder that we were here, that we made the decision to explore new areas, and that we never stopped asking questions despite our lack of knowledge. In actuality, the story of Voyager 1 is our own. It expresses our insatiable curiosity, need to investigate, and want to learn more. It serves as a reminder that there are still uncharted territories to discover, obstacles to overcome, and clues to look for. Even though Voyager may someday stop talking, the human adventure has only just begun. Because of our insatiable curiosity and the limitless potential that space presents, we keep pushing the boundaries, which is what makes our pursuit so important. Every clue and every finding pushes us more into the unknown and raises new questions. Voyager creates a legacy that inspires us to imagine, wonder, and look forward as it moves farther away. Therefore, rather than viewing Voyager's journey as coming to a conclusion, let's consider it as the beginning of much more exciting experiences to come. In the frigid, black depths of space, what will humanity discover next? What new questions will come up, and how will the answers alter the way we think about the cosmos? We remain hopeful and eager for the future because of these questions, which keep us gazing up at the stars. Even though our journey with Voyager is only a little portion of a much larger tale, it serves as a potent reminder of our curiosity. Let's maintain the spirit of Voyager as we continue our explorations, never content with the answers we have, always learning, and always looking. Exploration is all about the thrill of the chase, isn't it? Every small finding is a success in this epic journey, and every unsolved question challenges us and motivates us to work even more. Our journey will never stop as long as we maintain this curiosity. That's the real charm of exploring, isn't it? The notion that there is always more to see, learn, and comprehend. Could the bizarre message from Voyager 1 be a random malfunction or something more serious? Perhaps even a deep space warning. Is there anything in the world that humanity isn't prepared to deal with? Please share your thoughts on this cosmic issue with us, and remember to like and subscribe for more.